Well, good morning again, everyone, and welcome, replay viewers. This is part 2 of our coverage of the flooding here by the coastal storm, because I thought we had peaked with the tide, but actually not. The tide is still running in, and the water is now much higher than it was when I first broadcast 2 hours ago. Let's see, right now we're at 11:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at our location on eastern Suffolk County. So from what I can see, and we'll get a little closer, I'll walk down to the water here in a minute. The tide is still definitely running in. The wind is now out of the southeast, but it's not blowing as at the intensity it was at the height of the storm 5 or 6 hours ago. Andrea, good morning to you. Yes, it is indeed still rolling in. The earlier broadcast I did, I thought it was high tide at that time, but it was definitely not up at full high tide. So let's walk down here. Okay, hopefully the audio is a little better this time because I'm using my Rode clip-on microphone with the wind mitten on it. So I'm hoping that we're not getting as much wind noise as we did earlier in the earlier broadcast. Alright, this is looking out to the south-southeast, and we're looking straight into the direction of the wind now from the wave action, or the little riplets on the water. We can see how the wind is blowing now. And this wind should swing around to the west and then eventually the northwest as the storm center gets further north of us into New England. But this was quite a storm. Let me walk right down here. Now we can give an estimate of how high up the water is. These fence sections that I'm looking at now are spaced 10 feet apart. Now I have to back up. Transmission is unusable at this point. Unstable. Okay. Let's back up a little bit. Get closer to the house. I'm too far away from the my Wi-Fi in the house, and the cellular service here is marginal, unfortunately. Even though I have T-Mobile and it's supposed to be 5G service, this is like a dead zone or a weak zone for cellular service. So let's get back up on the deck here, and we'll do our video from up here. Okay. Hopefully now we have a live stream again. Yeah, the water is still running up onto the property. You can see the floating dock out there. It's that's attached to the bulkhead, but that whole area is now underwater. Right in the center of the picture is a wooden bench I have right behind the bulkhead, and at top of that bench you can just see it looks like a log floating in the water. That's about 2.5 feet above the lawn, so that shows you how deep the water is right there at the tide, right at the bulkhead. It's about 2.5 feet up depth, and we can judge how far the water has run up the lawn because the fence posts are spaced 10 feet apart. So let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, and then I set that wire fence 8 feet. Let's say 50, 60, 70. So it's about 80 feet up onto the lawn from the bulkheading, from the creek, which is more than halfway up to the front of the house. And you can see how much the neighbor's property is flooded over here. Let me get around this lamp post and we'll show you that. So the water on the neighbor's lawn over here is halfway up his front lawn. Again, about 80 or so feet up from the bulkheading. And this is the highest I've seen the water here in, well, be honest with you, since Hurricane Sandy. This is the highest it's been. During Superstorm Sandy, I'll just swing around here a little bit. The tide actually got up to the base of this bird feeder cage, which I have here. You see, with the cage that keeps the bigger birds out and lets the smaller cardinals and everybody in. But at the base of that's how high the tide got during Superstorm Sandy. Now that was 2012, all right, so that's 11 years ago. And it's not a new moon or a full moon right now. The moon is a few days short of quarter moon, so we're really not talking about the maximum lunar tidal effects. This just has to do with the storm surge. Again, this is looking to the south toward Moriches Bay, and then across the bay is the Barrier Beach, which we can't see in the mist and the fog. Hi Nabul, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, thanks for your broadcast last night of the Christmas celebration on the waterfront there. That was really beautiful to see with all the little shops and everything. I appreciate that. And you had the quarter moon in the sky at the setting sun. It was very beautiful. Okay, so we're just talking about the remnants of our coastal storm that came through overnight, and we're still seeing the effects of it with the high tide, the flood tide, which is not normal. Although I'm going to tell you that this is becoming the new norm here with global warming. This is happening more and more frequently. So I would say we're right about at peak high tide right now. And my best estimate, based upon my experience here, is that the water depth is about 2.5 feet higher than the normal high tide, maybe 3 feet normal, because at normal high tide the water does not come over the bulkhead, which is down there by the floating dock and where the fence ends. So this is an abnormal high tide. Although I'm saying more and more this is going to happen more frequently. Okay, I just wanted to document this little part of it right now because we were out here earlier and I took the earlier broadcast, which was breaking up, and I made it into a regular YouTube video, which I'm in the process of posting right now onto my YouTube channel. So you can see what that looks like if you go to look at that. The sound quality is not the best because I did not use my microphone with the wind mitten on it. And we'll see how this live broadcast turns out as far as signal breakup and everything, and perhaps I'll post this as a separate YouTube video this afternoon. Alright, so Andrea and Nabul, thank you very much for joining me this morning. I wanted to share this with folks who follow us live. And we're going to end now and get ready for lunchtime. And I want to wish everybody, including you two, a very happy holiday season. Feliz Navidad. I hope I have that right. Feliz. And Noel. French, Noel. I hope I have that right. But enjoy the Christmas holiday season. Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care now.